we'll start. We'll boogie. And we're going to have a good time tonight. At least I am. It's going to be fun. All right. So we had a really good workshop. It was a yesterday on healing technique, and Lynn's going to be putting it up on the website, and I don't know if she puts it up here on Facebook. Do you do that, Lynn, for a replay? Yeah, let me know. I've been curious about that. And so when she does it on the website, it'll be on YouTube for anyone to see. And it was a mini class on healing techniques. Really awesome. And I had a great time giving it as well. And a lot of fantastic questions. Just amazing. And let's see here. There's people going in and out, whatever that means. All right. So let everyone know, go over some basic stuff before we really boogie here, that I do have some appointments available this week and next week as well. So if anyone's interested, the appointments are incredible. I love working with people, and people, the upload didn't upload properly. It's going to take a bit longer. No problem. Okay, good. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I love working with people, and for many, many things. And Lynn wrote, it will be posted in the Facebook group. Good. All right, thanks. I appreciate that. And so I work with people in the appointments with neurological, biological, physiological stuff, chronic aches and pains, things that have been bugging them for a long, long time, and or a short time in their life. So it is available in working with. And people tell me that they enjoy the appointments as well, and most people have immediate effect. Some people have it the next day or walking down the street 2 weeks or 2 months later, and then they say, oh my God, when did this leave me? If that should be the case. And sometimes it's up to them to fulfill it in doing certain things. Or other times it just may be something that that gets taken care of, but for them to live with in their life. I don't know. I pretty much leave it to what I refer to as the old man or woman upstairs. And I say, okay, boss, you take over. Okay, good. And it's sent to email for those who attended as well, the mini workshop. But it is available for everyone. And those who signed up for it, Lynn sends it to them. That's awesome. That's great. And let me see here, on November 30th, we have an incredible workshop coming up. And it's the title of it is Initiate Your Intuition. And it's for you. Anyone who perceives this stuff or is aware of it in any way, it's part of your life. And you use it most likely without even knowing it. And this workshop will enhance what you do know, and it'll give you exercises, it'll give you a way to work with it and an understanding in your workings with it, with the intuition, which means to me inner teaching. It's a guidance and a direction that's given to us, and we can hear it more loudly within ourselves. So please do take advantage of that. It's an awesome workshop. Hey, April Star Nini. I'm correct in Nini. So good to see you here. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So do take advantage of that workshop. It's just tremendous. And that's going to be on the 30th of November. And it's open to everyone. I feel that anyone who reads it and is attracted to it, it's for you. And whether it be known or unbeknownst to you, it's for you. And it's there. Oh, good. Lynn's putting up some information. Yay. Your computer's working. Signal's better. Yay. Love it. Love it. Love it. And for the Uh, Donations. I don't call it donations. I call it gifting and supporting. It's so important for you to be able to give. It not only helps us to continue, but it helps other people as well. And I love to give to people that are in need. And so, and I do it as often as I can. And I've been doing it this way for years. So please do take advantage of that. And also, as you do give, um, it's given to you as well, equally and not and even greater, much greater. But we have to give with our heart in order for that to happen. So do take advantage of that if you get an opportunity to. You'll see that there's an abundance that happens in your life as you give with your heart. Thank you for putting that up, Lynn. I appreciate that. And yes, Nini, yay. And in order to give, you can go to the website to do that. There's a gifting place there. So do take advantage of that and supporting, gifting and supporting, as I call it. Let me see here. I'm checking these off as I get to them in likes. Thanks for Get My Schedule. Great. And please do take advantage of the appointments. And so let's see here. We have also a healing circle on November 24th at night at 6:30. It's a Tuesday. And it is available for anyone and everyone. But please understand the gathering when I work with people and also the healing circle when I work with people. Those are quickie healings, as I refer to them. And the full appointment is just so much more. And sometimes I'll be able to see things and understand things. It'll come to me from within myself, and I'll express it to you in conversation as we're talking. And then even as I'm working with you, say for aches or pains or dilemmas or situations in your body or trauma or whatever, chronic things, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'll be able to see causes or things that you can do to correct that. It's very simple, the voice within, and so it loves to express. And it does express most often. And I hold the expression of it in a conversation with you. So take advantage of those as you do have that opportunity. Oh, good. Lynn put up the workshop coming up. Do take advantage of that. It's going to be awesome. And it's for 4 days and an hour and a half a day. And there'll be exercises, as I said, and a lot of understanding. And there'll be plenty of time for you to ask questions. And what we do is we go by the group mind. And the group does form a mind where there's a commonality, and you'll see that with other people, and the commonality between yourself and that divinity within, which is always what I strive to help people to realize within themselves. And so the healing circle, then every Wednesday we also have the gathering. And this is, I think, a wonderful opportunity for you all to ask questions. If I can answer them, I will. And if I can't, I'll say I don't know. And I hope people try to give me questions that stump me. And so do take advantage of this time as well. My friend, and I will be doing healings, tonight as well, a couple of them, or as many we can get in. And at the very end, we'll have a meditation. So a very short meditation. All right. My dear friend Sue, who's not able to attend tonight, but you'll see it on a replay later tonight or tomorrow, she asked me, please talk about what a person can do when alone and panic sets in. Great question. And she'll listen to the replay, she said. Thank you, Mark. Please talk about what a person can do when alone and panic sets in. You know, a lot of us experience this at times, whether it be severely or mildly. and we find an anxiety, anxiousness, and it usually starts off with a worry or a fear, and then then it just exponentiates within us for many people. And so, my take on it is that it's most important to stop yourself by recognizing what you're having at that moment, what's happening at that moment. And as you do, in that anxious moment that's building within you, that's becoming debilitating within you, is to forcefully make yourself breathe. Forcefully make yourself breathe. But when you breathe, first, give an exhale through your mouth, but then observe yourself breathing in through your nostrils and bringing it down all the way into the lower part of your belly, as deep as you can. Most important. And then try with all your heart and I mean try because it's going to be difficult for you, try with all your heart to maintain that focused breath. In slow motion, make it slower and slower and slower, and focus on the breathing in through your nostrils all the way down. And as you do in slow motion, you'll see that you're able to go lower and lower and lower into the lower abdominal area with every breath. And then watch it after you inhale every breath in through your nostrils. Watch it come forth from your lower belly in slow motion out through your mouth. And it's no different than what I always tell people in many classes and workshops and appointments and stuff like that. It's written in the great book, that God breathed through the nostrils of man and woman, gave him life. Well, if that's true, we're breathing in the breath of God. If it's written that God breathed through the nostrils of man and woman, gave him life, then we're breathing in the breath of God. Try to imagine that happening as you're breathing in. And you'll notice as soon as you begin to do that, and in the interim, all this anxiety is going to want to try to get back, but as you refocus, you'll see it's so much easier to go back to the focus. And you'll see that, and you'll notice that it's so much easier to focus on that breath more and more and more. And that the worries and fears and anxieties, they don't exist during that time that you're focused on the breathing. You're not missing anything with the anxiety. You're not going to miss anything at all. And it can't really, do anything to you. We allow it to do stuff to us. We give it permission, and we're the ones that give it more life. And it becomes enabled to take our life. So if we have that consciousness, just to focus and to breathe, you'll see that it dissipates. It literally dissipates. And so, again, you'll notice that as you breathe in through your nose, you're breathing in the breath of God. Try to keep that in your mind as you're breathing, all the way down into the lowest part of the belly. And in slow motion, bringing it in, and it'll get lower and lower. And then, when you're breathing out, breathe from the lowest part of your belly out of your mouth. We're actually breathing in the breath of God. And you'll see that for some people that really focus on it and practice this for days and weeks and months, you'll see that at times you'll have a sense that God is breathing for you. It's an amazing sense. If you can try that, you'll find that out. And if you do that, it'll take you into other forms of spirituality for you without you doing anything. It'll show you more and more of yourself as you allow that breath of God to come in and breath of God to come out in slow motion. It will actually breathe for you as you practice this on a regular basis and put a lot of credence to it. So I highly recommend that. It's an awesome, awesome exercise. And I know that initially it's going to be difficult. It is for anyone and everyone. And but there must be a willingness and a slight effort on your part to initiate this to happen. So another exercise for anxiety, if you don't prefer to do that, and that's really simple too. But another exercise is simply use and have a small lunch bag, paper bag, and exhale into it, and just breathe into it with a burst of air, and then breathe the air that's in the bag into your mouth. Now, I didn't say a plastic bag. I said a paper bag. So don't use plastic, please. That's taboo, and that's not funny. And please, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask them, and I'll try to answer. And then we'll get into a little bit of healing as well. So that's a great exercise as well, just using that plastic bag, not a plastic bag, a paper bag. Don't use plastic, please. All right. Use the paper bag, blow into it a burst of air, and be conscious of what you're doing, blowing your air out of your body, out of your lungs, and out of your belly into the paper bag. And then breathe it in slowly, just very slowly. And something transpires during that time that you become more settled from the anxiety that you might be experiencing. And of course, another way that you might want to try is to focus on what you might refer to as God. And I think that that's a great, great idea. Yeah, whatever you call God in your life, whatever you refer to as God, and ask it. And get to the place that you can focus on that godliness, that divinity, the nameless one, the source, universal mind, whatever you want to call it. And then ask it in its presence to be with you. Ask it in its presence to be with you. And to, say, encompass you with its love and protection. Be conscious of that, what's being shared with you from that godliness, from that essence. Hey, Stephen, good to see you, my dear friend. You rock too, my friend. Good to see you. All right. So you can do these things, and it helps. It helps a lot. And that divinity of what you call divinity or God or presence or universal mind or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't care. But ask for its presence to be with you. And also ask for its presence to encompass you. You don't want to say a statement that doesn't have meaning to it. You want to put pictures to it. And so you want it to encompass you and in its love and its protection. Let it do that for you. And be conscious of it because it's doing it. It responds to your beckoning. And it will. It definitely will. And expand upon that and search for its presence. It wants to share with you. It wants to give to you. And the more you look for it, the deeper you look for it, the greater the presence you'll perceive. That's, some different ways you can approach that. And for the anxieties that we might experience, or the worries or the fears, the anxieties, worries, and fears. And then we notice that change has happened. But not only has change happened, something's happened to you as you practice those things. That's what I say to answer your question, Sue. Great question. And then we also find out that we've not ever been forgotten. or put aside. And that divinity within us, that godliness within us, it's sharing with us. It loves us unconditionally. We find that out. But we have to experience these things in order to find that out. So, please, any questions I can try to answer. Anything, please feel free. Or is there someone that I can work with that wants me to work with them? I'd be more than happy to. I need some information here, some generation of something. So, of input. Please share it with me of what you would like me to do here. Working with you. Is there, Steve, how's Beth doing? Please let me know. I know there's a delay on this thing. Let me know how Beth is doing, and if she's doing good, or you, if there's anything I can try to help you with, or actually help you with, I will be more than happy. Or Patty, or anyone, please. Lynn, or Kathy, or let's see who else is here. I can't tell a lot of the names. So please do share with me if there's something that I can try to answer or talk about. Here's one, Kathy. What is kindness? Kindness is a generosity from our heart. It's the generosity is of joy in the willingness, in wanting to give in whatever way is correct for us. And it's not it's even finding someone else in need, and just wanting to give out of that joy, and personally interacting or not with them, it doesn't matter. And if there's something you want to share with them, share it in joy, regardless of any personality conflicts or anything else. It's a willingness and a desire to give in joy. That's my understanding of what kindness is. And yes, it is. It's a need met. And we have that need within us to be able to give freely. And that's what's so important, is to follow along with that. We'll be taken care of. No matter what, we're not giving needlessly. We're giving from our heart, and that's what matters. That's my take on things. And please do take that to heart. So I hope that answers your question, Kathy. If there's any more I can try to answer, please ask. And I'll try to shoot it out. And Patty, right side between the neck and shoulder. Oh, hon. And strained muscle. Feels like I have a pinched nerve. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. On your right side. Let me work with this. And anyone else, please tell me something in your body that's not feeling perfectly well. And sometimes what happens is, if we develop something years and years ago, the body has a memory of that, and it wants to come back and plague us in life. And this is a part of that. And it's like a memory of the muscles and the tendons and ligaments and everything else kind of plays along with it. And so and sometimes it's created by years ago getting adjusted a lot in the neck. It creates a pattern of needing that, and so it creates what I call a fixation. The more you get it worked, and everyone's different in this, but the more you um, get it worked, say through adjustments and things, the more the body needs it. That's what I call, um, you know, uh, that dynamic, whatever it is. And so uh, the fixation, the more you get it, the more you need it. And everyone's different as far as how their body responds to things. And so, so what I did, and we'll see if this helps it. It's almost like I can sometimes speak to the muscles and tendons or body or tissue or whatever, and I can tell it to take a hike. And it's resistant, but it does partially or completely, I don't know which, dissipate and goes away, where many people have told me they haven't had the problem or situation in their body anymore. And this will help that to varying degrees. And the best thing you can do, I think, is to exercise. And that helps so much, the exercising of it all. And to develop the musculature in the spinal column, neck, and here, the shoulder and stuff. And so, and that kind of what I refer to as arrests the situation, where it won't get worse, or it'll get a lot better, or if it doesn't get worse, you'll be able to live with it without a lot of discomfort anymore. I've seen that happen many a time. Oh, Lynn, and I hope that helps you in what I did there, Patty. Please do let me know tomorrow or whenever you can. I appreciate that. And so I like that one. Lynn, hey, Lindsay, good to see you. Thanks for being here. And Tamara, hey, love it. You guys rock. You guys rock. And I'm glad you're here. All right, and Lynn wrote, and please do go over the replay when this does go up in about maybe within a couple minutes after we're finished. There's a lot of information and healing that went on, so please do take advantage of that. All right, Lynn wrote here. It's and I hope Jason's great, and please give my love to him. So Lynn wrote, it's baking week with my cousins. Oh my God, I remember that from last year, the year before, when you were telling me about that. And they're hurting big time. Oh my gosh. Could you help Chris with her back in the middle between the shoulder blades? Yeah, let me work with Chris. And is she cognizant of or aware that this is happening right now? Please let me know. Please let me know. But I'll gladly work with her here. I'd love to. Hey, Christina, good to see you, my dear friend. Good to see you. And Cheryl Ann Bender, oh my God. Good to see you. All right. Let me work with Lynn first, or Chris, I should say, with the middle of the back between the shoulder blades. And please do let me know, how Chris is feeling. And then I'll work with Nat real quickly. And for anyone, please understand, these are, as I expressed earlier, these are quickie appointments or quickie sessions, and they're not like the real appointment. They're little mini pieces of it. So let me work a little bit with Chris and the middle over back between the shoulder blades. And she will experience higher up, like a little crack later today or tomorrow. Not a bad one, but a good one, where it's almost like a release, because that's an after effect of like referred, where it's releasing there as well. So do keep me updated about that, and it will surprise her. She'll experience this sooner or later. I also know that she just experienced like a little flow in her spine, and if she's available to ask or not, I don't know. She may or may not have noticed that. And what I'm doing, I'm praying within myself to what I refer to as God, and so I like to let people know that we all have it within ourselves, and please be conscious of that and try to remember that uh, in the things you say, in the things you do, that there's a divinity within you that's waiting for you to recognize. And in that, you're recognizing yourself. Uh, that's what we're striving for in our life, is that recognition of that living divinity within us. And please understand. And then, ironically, or in some way or another, there's other interventions as well, and the interventions might be angelic or whatever. So, or you might actually experience. Some people actually experience my spiritual hands working with them, and it's not me per se. It's uh, I used to, and I still do refer to it as the hands of God. It has nothing to do with me. It's so much greater, but it's being given through my intent, my desire, and that's what I go after. I try to go as deep as I can for the moment and allow it to do it. And it has nothing to do with me. It's just through the desire. Otherwise, someone could say to you, "Oh, go out, heal the world." No, you work with one person at a time in the world. Sometimes you can work with several people at a time, but it's not the world. And a lot of uh, you just go with that, if you can. So I'm curious about Chris, if she noticed any difference yet, or she will. And some people experience things immediately. Other people within 24, 48 hours, or sometimes there's people that experience walking down the street 2 weeks or 2 months later saying, "Oh my God, when did this leave me?" If that should be the case, great. Whatever your life is leading into is the way you'll perceive of it, and or it just might give you a reprieve and arrest the situation that you can live with it without too much discomfort or distress. I don't know. So, and Nate or Nat has a lot of pain in her. Is that short for Natalie? Has a lot of pain in her knees and feet from having all her weight on them for the past few days. Let me work with her feet real briefly. And on one of her feet, I think it's her right heel, uh, there's like a tenderness on the heel as well. If she were to press on that, it would be a sharp tenderness. So I'm going to also work on that. a great exercise for uh, uh, Nat, Nate, Natalie, is to, when she's walking and she needs to be on her feet all the time, is to imagine, this is going to really throw her off, but if she can do this, it'll be awesome, is to imagine that she's, even if it's for 5 steps, imagine that she's walking downhill and not straight and not uphill, but downhill. Try to use the imagination to image in action that she's walking downhill. That will also contribute to her healing and the lightness in her feet. And I did work with her, so let me know on that, please. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, Lynn, for letting me work with them. Lindsay, my dear, yay! Good to see you. And tomorrow. And let's see, Christina. Hi, Mark. My neck is feeling much better. Thank you. Good. Steve did break out in a sweat. Yes, I knew it. 2 times today. But when he, yes, we saw that. But when he takes a deep breath, it makes him cough. Yes. And just drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water. And some people say, I'm not going to give, diagnose or prescribe or tell anyone they're healed. But some people say do 2,500 units of vitamin D, and every day, religiously, 1 time a day. That's what people say. And so, and I won't go into that more than what I've said. But a lot of water. He's got to keep that fluid within himself. So good. I'm happy you broke out the sweat. Thanks for sharing that with me. And let me see here. So when he takes a deep breath, it makes him cough. Sophie is also stuffing his sinus and ears. Oh, let me work with Sophie. And Sophia. And let me work a little bit with Steve. But with Sophie, I saw her just, I don't know if this is typically her, I just saw her bursting out laughing. And so, let me work with Steve a little bit. Good. All righty. And I appreciate that, Christina. And please let me know how they're doing. I really appreciate that. And let me see here. I'm checking off, I'm giving a like to everyone I've worked with here. All right, Cheryl. Um, Anything you can say about Alzheimer's? Well, um, sometimes there is and sometimes there not. And it's kind of elusive for me right now, but I really believe that um, oftentimes, it's not always, but oftentimes when people do begin to experience the Alzheimer's, it's I believe that there might have been an injury, or I mean a head injury or slamming that discombobulates the brain, and I won't get into elongation of this, but it creates memory of the injury within us, and a lot of people get it. There's a lot of people that have Alzheimer's, um, and but what happens is there's oftentimes either a millimeter, a centimeter, a lot more, a lot less. where the skull plates are skewed just a tiny, tiny bit, and it throws the whole brain activity out of sync. Sometimes it could be through internalized super heavy shock traumas to the body or to the uh, to our knowing, and that happens. It's not all the time. Some people get it that don't have head injury, but most often, to my understanding, is that there is a like a slamming of the head, which skews the blades and throws the neurology off, which affects us chemically over time. And it can happen at a young age and not know it until it begins to manifest in the middle or late ages, in the between, I don't know, 50 to 70, and then it begins this manifestation. And I've worked with some people that have had the Alzheimer's, and um, and um, and sometimes it's also very destructive diet or lack of minerals, I should say, in the body, and it's something in the mass consciousness that is uh, acceptable to manifest in people. Um, it's almost like describing it as when someone gives you a shock trauma uh, when we're really young, a knuckle sandwich. And later, at first we have the shock trauma of that event happening, and then later it develops into a bruise, a dark blue, and then eventually it goes into the greens and yellows, or oranges and yellows, etc. But it happens after the fact. And it's the same thing with us. We have a consciousness within us that replicates memory from a long time ago. That's our bruise of life. And so that can quite often be the cause to later develop into the Alzheimer's. And similar with Parkinson that I've experienced with people. And when I work with people, there's sometimes response and there's sometimes not. I don't know, maybe it's needed for that person to go through their process from their soul. I don't know. That's one perplexing. That and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are two distresses in the body, diseases or whatever, that I don't know too much about. I've had some effect with people and some not. And so, and I apologize for not knowing more about that. And I really have never meditated on it or asked about it, and I should. It's just been out of sight, out of mind in my life and working with people that frequently. So I hope that somewhat, answers. I don't know if it did or not, and I apologize. Christina, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that, Cheryl Ann, and my love to all. Christina wrote, I had exactly the same thing yesterday. All right. Ooh. Okay. And let me put a like there. Oh, it's not letting me like. Oh boy. I'll do it later. And then yes. All right, let me try that. Yeah, it worked. Oh. And let me see here. Chris confirmed that she felt it. Okay, good. She sat up and it reset. Great. I'm so glad. Thanks for sharing that, Lynn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And there'll be more of a constant change happening as well. And that's what's important. And it's never the end of the story. That's all that I know. It's never the end of the story. We experience something, we're not going to die from it. So there's more to it. It's always evolving, always growing, always developing. and there's more being shared. And the idea is not to dwell in what has been, because we can elongate the situation as well. And we don't want to go there necessarily. All right. Lynn wrote, she mentioned that she feels pressure in her left shoulder blade now. And that's working. That's working. Let's see how that goes with her. I don't want to do any more with her really at this moment. Yes, Natalie. Okay, good. All right, excellent. Yeah. All right, I guess I could a little bit work with her left shoulder here. Sometimes what I'll do through my imagination to image in action is I'll imagine that I'm putting my hands just barely touching on top of the skin, and then I just wait for the skin to move and to breathe, as I call it, and that's what I refer to it as. It's breathing, and as it does, uh, the surface tension, not only the surface tension breaks, but that influences the muscles underneath that to breathe. So you can try that with her, Lynn, is to gently put your hands on that area and just imagine the hands of God coming out of you. Clean, clear, light, effervescent, bubbly hands coming out of you and going into the surface of the skin, and it's going to eventually want to breathe in what I call the Mobius, the constant flow of the breath, the dance of life, the breath of God. It's going to flow real fluidly after a while. At first it won't, or it may be like staccato in there, where it's jerky or something like that, but it'll breathe. So give that a shot. Try that out with her, and that will really help her as well. And Natalie felt the tingling in her feet. Good, good, good. And a moving upper calves. Awesome. Great. And Chris could feel tingling in her feet too. Good. All right. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate knowing that. And God is great. God is good. And Natalie said it felt like her feet went, ah. And that's what I did with my spiritual hands when I worked with her. I waited for them to breathe. Now, what she's going to have to do when she walks is, for the next day or so, or 2 days, is to, as often as possible, imagine that she's walking downhill, and keep that in her memory, and recreate that in her. And it will give her lighter and lighter and lighter sensation in her feet and in her body as well. Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yes, this is from Christina. She says, yes, that's Sophia. She has outbursts of laughter. Good. And Steve says, thank you, Mr. Big M. He's my bro. Yeah. Hey, that's quite all right, Steve. Love it. Love it. Love it. And if you have another sweat tonight, that's fine. You may or may not. I don't know about that one. And so, all right, and Linro, Chris and Nat are both very grateful and said thank you 3 times. Chris said it was just as good as going to the spa. You right. And please do keep me up. Oh, Sharon said thank you. And thank you so much, Cheryl Ann. I'm so honored that you're here. And am I correct in assuming, Cheryl Ann, that you're the one that I knew either in Chicago or Boston over 45 years ago or so? If you are the one, please let me know. I'm just curious. You don't have to, but let me see here. Anyone else, please, please. I'd be honored to see if I can help someone here, and or help them with a question or comment or anything you want to elaborate it on. I'll try to go there within myself, and if I can't answer it, I won't, because the answer won't be there. And please do keep in mind every Wednesday we are here at 7 o'clock, and every other Tuesday is the Healing Circle. And do take advantage of those times, please. You will notice change in your life. That's a promise by God, whether it be immediate or over time. Whatever's our makeup is in, that allows the change to happen. And everyone's unique and everyone's different, no comparisons. And so, let's see, I answered Sue's question already. And it's already 5 till, so I don't think we met, but I've heard some very nice things. Oh, fantastic! Thank you, thank you. And I'm grateful that you said that. Thank you so much. Let's see. The girls are curious why each felt others' healings, because you share an atmosphere, you share a psyche, a mass mind consciousness of the group that you're in. And so there's going to be a compatibility that you might have similar. They're not going to be exact, but you'll have similar understandings and sensations with each other. You have a bond. That's what it is. And it's family bond, it's tie, and that's what happens. No different than a mother and child. They have a bond too. They have a tie as well. And y'all share that. It's very strong with y'all. Being up in Canada in the wilderness and everything else, pumping your own water out of your own well to do your wash, that's, it makes it more conducive for relationship, I guess. I don't know. Just kidding, Lynn. Just kidding. And Lynn is my virtual assistant, and we've been working together for 3 years now, or 4 years, which is fantastic. Stephen, who's Elwood, Steve? Please, who's Elwood? And I'll work with Elwood. I'm starting to get a little sense of Elwood. So let me work with Elwood in the left foot. And also in the left foot, it's there's a lot of activity in the ball of his feet going across the foot, the front part of the foot on the bottom, and so that might be the causal area in my perception. So please do keep me updated about Elwood. I really would appreciate that. And it might be tender and sore in there, and that makes it difficult for functioning and walking and stuff like that. So thanks for asking me to work with him, Steve. I really appreciate that. And Beth is good. All right. So what I'd like you to do, if you don't mind, is just to, if no one's around you, or you can do this later, that's fine too, is just real gently close your eyes and just take a deep breath into your nose and all the way down into the lowest part of your belly, and slowly and gently, slow motion, out through your mouth. And every time you breathe in through your nose, bring it a little bit, you'll see that it goes a little bit lower into the abdomen every time. And then just with your imagination, which means to image in action, watch yourself in your mind. Watch yourself with hands coming out of your hands, clean, clear, effervescent, bubbly light coming out of your hands. And watch those hands, say, going to a part of your body, uh, and working with whatever might be uncomfortable, or even with the skull, just gently touching and waiting for uh, some part of your skull inside to begin to breathe. And it's going to go in a slow motion in some form, in a constant flow. And watch the light hands just come out and take over. Every time you start thinking, start over. You have a million chances with this. A million chances. All right. Watch that happening. And watch your hands actually coming out of your hands. Watch the hands of God, the spiritual hands, whatever you want to call them, coming out of your hands. And going into the tissue and just resting there until you begin, and it might take a couple minutes or less or more, until you feel something inside of you breathing. And the tissue is going to be breathing, or the muscles or the bones will actually breathe in a slow motion. Observe that. And as soon as you see it, come out of it and open your eyes. And so you can practice that. It might take a little bit of effort, big deal. It's practicing, no different than an athlete building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So it's the same with us. We get to do these things as well. Yes, the arch and that leads into the ball of the foot and across the foot as well. That's going to be like not disjointed, but it's going to be sore for him. My pleasure, Steve. My pleasure. And I pray that Beth as well and everyone. So please listen to the first part of this again if you have the opportunity, and do the meditation if you have the opportunity. And if anyone wants an appointment, love it. Just call me. I have some availability this week and next week as well. So please don't be shy. They're very expansive and a lot more informative than what I've done tonight. And and you can get there through the website that Lynn posted earlier. And there's a lot of other information noted above. And do take advantage of the workshop coming up on the 30th, Initiate Your Intuition. And that's exactly what it is. And you'll come to recognize it and to understand it. There'll be exercises. It'll be for 4 days, an hour and a half a day, and maybe a 5 to 7 minute break every day in between the hour and a half. Maybe if we have time for that. And but it'll be a little esoterica, and it'll also be very intuitive. And it'll help you to recognize your own as well, to a lot more detail, a greater detail of it. And let's see, again, the next Healing Circle is on November 24th, but every Wednesday we have the gathering. Please take advantage of it. Take advantage of the gifting and supporting. It's good for you. It's good for your heart. And it's good for your connect in giving. Very important for you. God bless everyone here, and thank you so much for attending. And Google loves hashtag you rock. So for this analytics, so if you put that in there, love it. I'd appreciate it as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Blessings to everyone here.